Hey guys, Lewis Frost here with Trigger Time TV at White Feather Precision Shooting Center in Ardmore, Tennessee. What we're going to talk to you today a little bit about is setting up eye relief on an AR platform. Today we're utilizing the BCM 20-inch carbine. One of the things that when you're setting your eye relief that we have to talk about is setting the proper length of pull. Length of pull is incredibly important. When we talk about length of pull, that is how far away this stock is to give you a solid, consistent cheek weld that puts your eye in plane with that optic so you can get zero shadowing during the firing sequence. Here with me today is Nate Murr from KDG. We're going to utilize his mount and the SIG 1-6 optic to talk about setting up eye relief. Nate?
So Lewis, great point about the length of pull. That's absolutely paramount. Consistency equals accuracy, so we want to make sure that our stock's always in the same place every single time. And why that matters is when we go ahead and mount our optic, it's going to affect how we engage that rear ocular, right? So you see right here, it's about 2 inches back. It's probably a little bit too far. But if I change my stock position, that's going to affect that. So the rule of thumb that I go by is I want my eyepiece roughly plus or minus 1 inch from the charging handle. Generally, mine's usually level, like flush with the backside of the charging handle, and that's just an indicator. You notice a lot of scope mounts are cantilever in design, and that's one of the reasons why is for that eyepiece to be in that position, you're going to have to mount everything a little bit forward.
Right, all good points. So one of the things Nathan's talking about is making sure that we don't go forward of the receiver and bridge the gap between the handguard and the receiver itself. So it's incredibly important not to do that, because if we bridge that gap, what happens is as we start putting tension anywhere on this handguard, whether it be utilizing it as a support feature or torquing it to control recoil, we can disrupt the placement of this mount as well as cause accuracy issues. So one of the things that Nate's talking about, and a great point, is when we are aligning this rear ocular lens with the charging handle, we need enough space, especially in the AR platform, to allow that to work. So if we were to recess this farther back, what that would allow us to do, it would inhibit our ability to manipulate that charging handle. So we're trying to set this gun up for as many versatile uses as possible. So by doing this and mounting this optic correctly and getting the proper eye relief, that will give you consistency, which will give you the accuracy that you can, the best accuracy that you can get from this system. So for this or any other tactical tips, visit phobussolutions.com and stay tuned to Trigger Time TV.
Hello again, this is Charles Sumner with Glock. Here again at Trigger Time TV with another safety tip. This week we're going to discuss rule number 2 of the 4 basic rules of safety. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. This is a very, very important rule where if you unintentionally violate one of the other rules, this rule can make a difference where someone is injured or not, or where there's property damage or not. This rule also applies even if you have personally cleared the firearm yourself and that you know that is unloaded. What is a safe direction? A safe direction is basically not in the direction of another person and in a direction where if the firearm was discharged, there would be minimal property damage. Having a firearm pointed at you is not a fun event. Believe me, I know. When we work different shows and events where we're showing the Glock pistols, we have the pistols pointed at us from time to time. Although we know the firing pins have been altered and the pistol will not fire, it still gets your attention. This occurs because people do not follow the 4 basic rules of safety, especially keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. This includes muzzling another person or even yourself. It can be called muzzling, sweeping, or lasering. What this means is passing the muzzle of the firearm in a direction of another person or yourself. This can also occur when you're drawing the firearm, holstering the firearm, turning with a firearm, or moving with a firearm. Back to this point, even if you have cleared the weapon yourself and you know that it is unloaded. For Glock, I'm Charles Sumner, Trigger Time TV. This has been your safety tip of the week.
Hey guys, Tim Burke from JTAC Ranch. Welcome to the Gear Locker. I'm with John Heikkinen of Flint River Armory. We've got some pretty exciting rifles here he's going to talk to us about. John, why don't you tell us what you got here and all the work that you guys have put into these.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, what you're looking at is 3 flavors of the carbine semi-automatic, or CSA 45 ACP carbine. And the approach we took with this PCC is kind of unlike other folks in the industry. Instead of taking an existing platform and modifying it to work with a 45 or 9mm, we started with the 45 cartridge and we built a platform around that. And it's inherently accurate, it's optimized for the caliber, and it's accurate because we have this rotating locking bolt and gas piston system. It's a great platform. The gas system is not configurable or tunable, but it's optimized for both suppressor and non-suppressed operation. It's got a side charge here that keeps your action hand right there on the trigger. You can do a lot of operation with your left hand while you're operating.
John, when I looked at these, the first thought I had was convoy operations where you're working in a vehicle in a very tight, cramped space, as well as maybe some personal protection work. And it packs the punch of a 45 and yet has the reliability of a carbine.
Absolutely, we thought about that. We thought about that in the design of the frame. As you can see, it's a monolithic lower pinned to the upper in these two places. So essentially, you've got a very strong piece of aluminum with a very strong stock here. You can beat down a door, you can kick a table over with this thing and go back to operating without any problems at all.
Awesome. Guys, this thing feels good, weighs good in the hands, and will operate well. For more information about these guns, check out FlintRiverArmory.com.